From Ray Bourque's triumphant Stanley Cup victory after 22 grueling seasons, to Mario Lemieux's inspiring return to the ice following his battle with cancer, the NHL has been a tapestry of moments that turn players into legends. We've seen stunning underdog stories like the miracle on Manchester, and poignant farewells, like Teemu Selanne's emotional last lap around the rink. But this is just scratching the surface. Which NHL moment will have you at the edge of your seat, heart racing, as you witness history in the making? Let's get into it. In 2001, the ice witnessed a fairy tale ending when Ray Bourque, after 22 seasons and countless slap shots, finally got his hands on the Stanley Cup. The scene was straight out of a sports movie. Bourque, a legend with the Boston Bruins, wins it not with his lifelong team, but with the Colorado Avalanche. And get this, team captain Joe Sakic, in a move that melted hearts, hands the cup right to Bourque. There wasn't a dry eye in the house or living rooms across the globe as Bourque raised the cup, a symbol of his unwavering dedication to the game.
Really emotional. I couldn't let it go, and it was tough to keep it together.
But here comes a trade that made everyone's jaws drop faster than a puck in a playoff game. Imagine a trade so shocking, it could freeze a Zamboni in its tracks. That's exactly what happened in 1988. Wayne Gretzky, the Great One, got traded from the Edmonton Oilers to the Los Angeles Kings.
That the Edmonton Oilers have agreed to trade Wayne Gretzky to Los Angeles.
In Canada, it was like someone had moved the CN Tower to California overnight. Gretzky leaving Edmonton wasn't just a sports story, it was a national drama, with every hockey fan glued to their TVs in disbelief. And from national drama to a personal finale, we have this legend who laced up his skates for one last dance. It was Gordie Howe, Mr. Hockey himself, taking to the ice for one final shift in 1980. At 52, he wasn't just defying age, he was rewriting the rule book on retirement. Howe's last glide across the rink was more than a farewell. It was a living legend, leaving his kingdom of ice. Gordie Howe's final shift was like watching a superhero hang up his cape. But now let's zoom into a moment that turned tragedy into triumph. The Vegas Golden Knights tribute to the 2017 Las Vegas shooting victims wasn't just a hockey game.
Know that we'll do everything we can to help you and our city heal.
It was a beacon of hope and solidarity. In their debut season, the Golden Knights did more than play hockey. They helped heal a city, proving that sometimes the most powerful goals aren't scored on the ice, but in the hearts of the community. The Vegas Golden Knights turned a hockey rink into a healing ground. But now let's switch gears to a send-off that was so emotionally charged, you'd think the ice was made of tears. We're talking about the Finnish Flash, Teemu Selanne, and his 2014 farewell. This wasn't just any goodbye. This was an entire arena, and probably a good chunk of Finland saying "Kiitos," thank you, to a man who wasn't just a player, but a legend on skates. In his final regular season game, Selanne, with his trademark charisma and a career that seemed to defy time, received an ovation that echoed through the stadium. Opposing players, officials, fans, everyone was on their feet, clapping, not just for the goals he scored, but for the joy he brought to the game. The touching moment when he took a final lap with his longtime friend and former teammate Jean-Sébastien Giguère was like watching a highlight reel of passion and friendship, a fitting tribute to one of the game's greats. From one heartwarming farewell, we have another comeback that's so unbelievable, you'd think it was straight out of a Hollywood script. Enter Saku Koivu in 2002, the captain of the Montreal Canadiens, not just stepping, but storming back onto the ice after battling non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. The Bell Center wasn't just a hockey arena that night. It was a thunderous sea of support washing over Koivu as he made his way onto the ice. Every fan, player, and coach, regardless of team loyalty, stood in unison, applauding in a moment of pure human triumph. Then we have a goalie who became a legend not just for the saves he made, but for the hearts he won. Meet J.S. Giguère, the goaltender for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, who in 2003 did something that Hollywood couldn't script any better. His team, against all odds, battled their way to the Stanley Cup Finals. They didn't clinch the cup, but Giguère clinched something just as golden, the Conn Smythe Trophy for the playoff MVP. Here's the kicker. He won it while playing for the losing team. That's like being the best actor in a movie that didn't win Best Picture. Giguère's performance was so stellar, so jaw-dropping, that it didn't just break records. It broke the mold, showing that sometimes being a champion isn't about winning. It's about how you play the game. And speaking of playing the game, Let's skate into a moment so iconic, it's frozen in time in every hockey fan's memory. The year is 1970, the stage is set for the Stanley Cup Finals, and Orr, playing for the Boston Bruins, is about to become a household name. In overtime of Game 4, Orr scores the winning cup goal against the St. Louis Blues. But it's not the goal that everyone remembers. It's what happened next. The instant the puck hits the net, Orr leaps into the air, an image of pure joy and triumph that's as iconic as the Stanley Cup itself. This wasn't just a goal, it was a masterpiece.
There they go, the Boston Bruins skating off with the Stanley Cup.
A moment so perfect that it seemed to stop time itself. And from one unforgettable goal, we have this comeback that defied all odds. We're talking about the Miracle on Manchester. The year was 1982, and the setting? A playoff game between the underdog Los Angeles Kings and the powerhouse Edmonton Oilers, led by none other than Wayne Gretzky. The Kings were down 5-0, a score that usually means it's time to pack up and plan for the next season. But not this time. In a plot twist that would make movie directors jealous, the Kings rallied back, scoring goal after goal, until the unthinkable happened. They tied the game, and then, in overtime, they did the impossible. They won. Speaking of dramatic twists, our next moment takes us from a miraculous victory to a tribute that's as touching as they come. This time, we're honoring Derek Boogaard, a gentle giant off the ice, but an enforcer on it who left us too soon in 2011. The Minnesota Wild and New York Rangers didn't just host a game, they hosted a night of remembrance. The tributes poured in, each one a testament to the man behind the number. Fans and teammates alike shared memories, and the arenas, usually thunderous with cheers, were filled with a respectful, poignant silence. It was a moment that transcended the game, reminding everyone that behind the helmets and jerseys, there are stories, struggles, and hearts beating with passion for the sport. And from a night of heartfelt tributes, we're now sliding into a story about a shot that wasn't just heard around the arena, but echoed through the ages. Meet Steve Yzerman, captain of the Detroit Red Wings in the '96 playoffs. It's Game 7, double overtime against the St. Louis Blues, a scenario so intense you could cut the atmosphere with a hockey stick. Yzerman takes a pass at center ice, strides over the blue line, and unleashes a laser of a shot. The puck blazes past the goalie. The red light goes on.
Yzerman picks it up. Yzerman moving, blue line chance.
And the arena erupts. It's not just a game-winning goal. It's a saga ending with a bang. Yzerman's shot didn't just win the game. It etched his name into the annals of hockey lore, proving that sometimes a single moment of brilliance can define a career. And if you thought that was a moment to remember, wait till you hear about the day a hockey legend said his final goodbye to the game. The day? April 18th, 1999. The event? Wayne Gretzky's final farewell to the NHL. The great one. The legend who rewrote record books like they were his personal diary, laced up his skates for the last time. Madison Square Garden, a place that had seen its fair share of legends, was witnessing history. Every pass, every shot by Gretzky was met with a mix of cheers and a sense of nostalgia. And when the final buzzer sounded, it wasn't just the end of a game. It was the end of an era. Fans, players, even referees were united in a standing ovation, a tribute to a man who was more than a player. He was a symbol of the sport. His departure wasn't just a retirement. It was the turning of a page in the hockey history books. And there you have it, a journey through some of the most heart-stopping, tear-jerking, and downright unforgettable moments in NHL history. But what's the NHL moment that left you speechless, that had you jumping out of your seat, or maybe even brought a tear to your eye? Drop your game-changing moment in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.